What's going on, guys? Today we are going to be doing another mock draft. I'm going to take another break from the film. Haven't really had a whole lot of time recently between work and college and all that, so I'm just kind of kind of taking my time with these videos, I guess you could say. I will have another film breakdown in the next video. Probably just going to be doing the Odunze film breakdown. I've still been in a bad mood since I did that one, and it got deleted. So there's that. My last video, my Keon Coleman. Did I say Rome Odunze? I'm gonna do my Rome Odunze video next. My Keon Coleman video got like copyrighted or something, so it doesn't have a whole lot of views. So that's upsetting considering I got not a lot of views in general. But I mean, I'm still new to this, so it is what it is. So just a mock draft today. I've just redid my top 150 players big board. And if you guys want to see that, I guess just let me know. I could do a video breaking down or just showing you guys my big board as we get through the draft cycle. I don't know why my mouse cursor is glitching out there. Alright. But I'm going to be using my personal big board on this, and I do a mix of team need based off what I think will happen, based off what I would do, and based off my big board. So, I mean, like the PFF big board, not a huge fan of it. Like, Jerzon Newton at 10, that's interesting. Let's see, what's another one that's not very good? Like, oh yeah, my personal favorite is all the way down, you gotta go to page 2 to see Chop Robinson ranked 47th. Not a huge fan of that. I mean, his draft stock has been falling a bit as of recently, but I still think he's got crazy high upside. Still should go in the first round, unquestionably. But moving kind of out of the top 15 range, moving down into like, you know, the 15 to into the first round. Could go anywhere in the first round, really, outside the top 10. Just based on his upside and athleticism and twitchiness. And we're going to be doing this video like the Bears trade Justin Fields. I don't think that they should stick with him. I mean, reset your quarterback clock. I think that's a term that I've heard. That I didn't come up with that. That's a term that I've heard. But get a cheaper quarterback who's probably a higher potential, because you kind of already know what you got in Justin Fields. And it's not amazing. So, is he a game changer? Not really. Can he run? Oh, yeah. But can he change the game and go out there and just dominate? He hasn't shown that yet. And I don't think if he's shown it yet, he's probably not gonna. So, Caleb Williams is the pick here at 1 to the Bears. Commanders, almost said the bad word there. Commanders at 2. It's got to be quarterback, obviously. And for me, I would be leaning towards Jaden Daniels, because I'm a huge fan of him. But Drake May, I mean, I've heard and seen reports that he would have been the first overall pick last year. I don't know how much truth there is to that, but he's great inside the structure of the player. Because with Caleb Williams, you got, you know, the improviser. I guess if you want to go by Madden archetypes, he's more of an improviser, while Drake May is more of a strong arm field general kind of guy. And then there's where's he at? Where's Papa Bear at? I don't know why I called him that. Jaden Daniels. He's more of a scrambler. People compared Anthony Richardson to Lamar a lot last year because he's a fast quarterback. Well, I would compare Anthony Richardson to more of a Cam Newton, but you know, that's, I guess, recency bias, just because I'm not 50. So I wouldn't have seen, you know, the greats from back in the day. But I wouldn't compare Jaden Daniels, because like Jaden Daniels, I think he's skinnier than Lamar, a little bit taller, I think by an inch or two, and a little bit skinnier. So I'm not too sure who I'd compare Jaden Daniels to. I mean, obviously the first thought is Lamar, because he's a fast, mobile quarterback. But I mean, maybe like a tall Kyler Murray. I don't know. I haven't really gone in depth on Jaden Daniels yet, so can't give an honest comparison there. Drake May to the Commanders at 2. 3 to the Patriots. I'm having a hard time with my words today. Jane Daniels, obviously, if you think Mac Jones will lead you to a Super Bowl, you are going to lose your job. And certainly not Bailey Zappi. And yeah, Marvin Harrison's generational, but you need a quarterback. So I personally would go Jaden Daniels here to the Patriots at 3. And the last time we saw 3 quarterbacks in the top 3, it was 2021 with Lawrence, Wilson, and Trey Lance. So that's a very mid and dog shit, very mid and not good group of QBs there. But hopefully this class pans out a little bit different. Marvin Harrison to the Cardinals, obviously. I don't know why I said that all in one sentence. But yeah, Marvin Harrison to the Cardinals. It's been mocked since the dawn of time, I guess. It's just been it forever, and it's going to stay that way. Obviously, Marvin Harrison, potentially generational receiver. Obviously, I mean, we all know how good Marvin Harrison Jr. is. 5 to the Chargers. Now, this is where it gets interesting. This is where the draft really starts to take shape, I think, is they can go either receiver, Brock Bowers, or a tackle. And when you're talking about the tackles, probably Joe Alt, it would be your guy. More of a run, because Olufashanu is more of a run blocking, kind of took a step back in his pass pro this year, but crazy high upside. Joe Alt, crazy high floor, decent upside, kind of jack of all trades. Huge, he's like 6'8", and then obviously we all know how good Brock Bowers is, and then receiver. I mean, their receiver on paper is fine right now, but when you're talking about the future, Keenan Allen, crazy high crazy high cap hit. It's late. I'm sorry. Just bear with me. Crazy high cap hit for Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. Mike Williams coming off a, ACL tear? I can't remember if it was ACL or Achilles. I want to say ACL. Let me just delete some players on my big board. So, 2 guys that are getting... I mean, Mike Williams is also getting up there in age. 2 guys who are old and high cap hit. You got Quentin Johnston last year, did not impress at all. And do you take Malik Neighbors? I mean, you make a solid point. Now, if I were the Chargers, what would I do? I personally would probably have to go tackle here. I mean, yeah, you got Rashawn Slater on the left side, but Trey Pipkins, do you really want to roll with him for your future? I wouldn't. Instill, I think instill is the right word there. Instill your running game for the future. Solidify it, I think is a better term. And get perennial tackles on the left and right side with Joe Alt and Rashawn Slater. Giants, Malik Neighbors. Oh, take a quarterback. Well, there's no quarterbacks on the board. You're not going to take Bo Nix at 6. That rhymed. You're not going to take Michael Penix. You're probably not going to take McCarthy. So... you're just left with Malik Neighbors, which is not bad at all. I love Malik Neighbors. I'm probably going to get his jersey because every year I get a jersey of my favorite college player. Like 2022, I got Jamison Williams. 23, I got Zach Charbonnet. And I'm probably going to get Malik Neighbors this year. Love him. Crazy good receiver. I mean, he would obviously be the receiver 1 if Marvin Harrison didn't exist. Sorry, Marvin Harrison Jr. He can win at all levels of the field. Solid, very solid hands. Just an elite player. He's going to be an immediate impact for the Giants, who the definition of mid is the Giants wide receiver room. I mean, you got, Darius Slayton. You got, I almost said Duck Hodges. Isaiah Hodges. Yeah, Duck Hodges. That's a throwback, Steelers fans. Isaiah Hodges. Sterling Shepard, who's probably going to leave. Maybe you have something with Jalen Hyatt, but you just don't know yet. So take a Malik Neighbors, immediate wide receiver 1 for that offense, and you figure out quarterback another day. Titans, oh boy, what do you do? I mean, you got Olufashanu, Talisa Fuaga. there's a lot of directions you could go if you're Tennessee here, and I think it's got to be offense. And is it receiver to help Will Levis? I don't see them taking Odunze more than likely, but they could tackle potentially. I think Talisa Fuaga would be a better fit for them based on what they like to do, but with a new head coach that could change. Like, okay, with Mike Vrabel and Derrick Henry, they love to just pound the football, run. And Talisa Fuaga would be a great fit for them because he's a mauler in the run game. But with who'd they get? Mike McDonald. So your scheme might change, and you're also potentially losing Derrick Henry. So you have Tyjae Spears, who's not Derrick Henry, obviously, and that just the whole offense is changing. And with that change, I mean, you got DeAndre Hopkins, who's got a year left on his deal. Maybe they end up trading him. And after DeAndre Hopkins, who's like 31 at this point, you got Treylon Burks, who's just not been impressive at all. And I think you have to look at your wide receiver to help with the development of Will Levis. It's got to be Odunze for me. I mean, this is a very offense-heavy draft. And with the new scheme change and all the changes that they're making to that team, I think they pivot away from a tackle, which is what it's been so far, and what seems like the obvious Tennessee pick. But I think that pivoting to a new scheme and a new coach and a whole new look offense compared to the Titans a year ago, it's got to be a receiver for me. And hopefully this is not a throwback. Corey, what was his last name? 2017, pick like 4th or 5th overall. Corey Davis out of Central Michigan, or was it Western Michigan? It was one of those two. And he just didn't do good until his contract year, then stole money for the Jets. So hopefully it doesn't end up like Corey Davis. Falcons at 8. Now this is interesting. I could see them potentially trading up for a quarterback. I could see them. See, have I gone? Oh, Brock Bowers is on the board. No, I could see them doing a whole lot of things here. Quarterbacks are gone, so you're not going to pick one at 8 unless you want to move up maybe with one of these 3 teams. I think it will be quarterback in the first 3 picks. If the Bears stick and pick and take quarterback, it will absolutely be quarterback in the top 3. I don't see him taking Marvin Harrison Jr. at 1. It's very unlikely. But, I mean, if I'm the Falcons, what do I do here? I mean, keep building up your defense, I guess. Dallas Turner, I'm not a huge fan of. I know a lot of people are high on him, but I'm just not blown away by him, as explained in my Dallas Turner film breakdown. Maybe Latu, Jared Verse. I could see Jared Verse being a Falcon for sure. Maybe cornerback on the opposite side of AJ Terrell, and maybe you get another Clemson guy, Nate Wiggins. Maybe you get Terry and Arnold. Now, if I'm the Falcons, no quarterbacks on the board. Maybe you take a receiver, but you're probably not going to here at 8. And so I guess based on their team needs here, edge and cornerback. And my top edge or corner on the board would be Terry and Arnold or Latu. I mean, throwback to Takk McKinley, UCLA edge rusher. Oh, this is tough. This is tough for me. I think I'm going to go... Yeah, I'm going to go Terry and Arnold. Get another corner outside of AJ Terrell. Just keep building that secondary. You know, you brought in Jesse Bates last year. You paid a lot of money for him, so make his job a little bit easier. And along with AJ Terrell, who I don't think they have locked down long term either, if I am correct in that. I'm not too sure. They might, actually. They might, because he was 2020. No, I don't think they do. So, okay, there's that. Bears again at 9. You know, your receivers are off the board by this point. And, oh wait, let me get rid of Terry and Arnold off my big board. I mean, do you take another tackle? Probably not. I mean, you got Braxton Jones and Darnell Wright. You take defense. I mean, Olu Fashanu's still on the board, but I think he'll probably end up falling a bit. based on his kind of a down year in 2023. If I'm the Bears, I think you got to go defense. You just got to keep boosting up that defense. And my top defensive player is Leatu Latu, but he could fall with injury concerns. I'm gonna shake it up a bit. I haven't seen him going high in a lot of mock drafts, and for me, it's Jared Verse. Very, very, very powerful hands. I love Jared Verse. I thought I wouldn't, based on his draft stock falling, and his hype last year compared to this year. But watching his film this year, I don't see why his draft stock went down that much. Like, he had very solid hands, great block shedding. Well, not solid hands. His hands are phenomenal. Strong player. Can play anywhere from like a 2-eye, probably not a nose tackle, so anywhere from like the 2-eye outside to the 9. He can play anywhere on the D-line. He's big, he's strong, he's athletic, and he's got a nice beard. So there's that too. And get another solid edge rusher outside of Montez Sweat. Jets at 10, it's got to be Olu 100%. Protect Aaron Rodgers for more than 4 snaps at least. Olu, how do you pronounce his full name? Olumoyiwa Fashanu. I just like Olu. It's easier to pronounce. Protect Aaron Rodgers. He's got very high upside. Could work on his pass protection a little bit as of this last year. They could go receiver, but based on the board, probably not. I mean, if Malik Neighbors were to fall to 10, or maybe even Odunze, I think you have to. But it's got to be tackle. It has to be tackle. They got fucked by the Patriots last year in the draft when the Patriots took less draft capital from the Steelers to let them move up instead of the Jets. So that way the Steelers would take Broderick Jones instead of the Jets, which is funny to me. Vikings at 11. Brock Bowers is falling. Jeez. Do you take a quarterback here? I mean, I don't think Michael Penix or Bo Nix go in the top first round. Bo Nix could slip in, but absolutely not Michael Penix. Maybe you take J.J. McCarthy here at 11? I mean, that could be fun. Didn't throw a lot at Michigan, obviously everybody knows that, but based on what he could do at the Combine and at his pro day, he could be a very high riser and gain a lot of traction and hype going into the draft later on in the cycle. You're probably not going to take a running back. Interior offensive line, yes, you could probably take, but not here at 11. D-line, anything defense. Yeah, D-line, linebacker, and defensive back. That is the whole defense. So I think if you're the Vikings here, you go with the top player on your board. And for me, that's going to be Leatu Latu. Danielle Hunter trade rumors every year. I think I might have done this in the last mock draft. And the same reasoning too. With Danielle Hunter and his trade rumors every year. And Marcus Davenport probably not being a long-term option for you. And Leatu Latu's got amazing block shedding and finesse moves. Very smart edge rusher. And can rush from a 5 or a 9. Maybe even a 3-eye. Not a 3-eye. A 4-eye to a 3. Pretty versatile. And I like his overall upside. Because yes, his injuries. But if you're comfortable with his medical history, you could absolutely take a shot on him at 11. Broncos at 12. Now this does get interesting because they need a quarterback, obviously. But do you want to take a quarterback here? And you pick again. No, that doesn't show second round. You don't pick again until... Do they have... Oh, I can actually see their picks. Okay, yeah. So you don't pick again until 76, which is a third round pick. So if you're going to take a quarterback in this draft, a quarterback of the future especially, this is the spot to do it. And you probably don't want Bo Nix or Michael Penix. I think this is going to be my J.J. McCarthy spot. Like I already said, a great combine and pro day could do wonders for his draft stock. That would very much piss off Jim Harbaugh, who is the coach of the Chargers now, and watching his love of his life quarterback go to division rival. So that's a fun storyline, I guess. Let's see, where's he at on my big board? Let's delete that. Raiders at 13. I mean, you want a quarterback, but there's so many teams that could go quarterback. You got the Bears, you got the Commanders, you got the Patriots, you got the Giants, you got the Falcons, you got the Jets. Probably not. You got the Vikings, you got the Broncos, you got the Raiders, you got the Saints, you got the Seahawks. I mean, that's 10 teams in the top 16. And there's only like 4 quarterbacks that you could take there. So a lot of teams are going to walk away from this draft with no good quarterbacks. And that's going to upset a lot of fan bases. But Raiders at 13, you're not going to take a quarterback here. Brock Bowers really is falling here. And I do think a team will probably take a shot. I mean, everybody loves a good slot tight end. Travis Kelce. I love Travis Kelce. I'm a Chiefs fan, so I know everybody hates him and everybody hates the Chiefs, but I love it, so it's fun to me. And it makes you guys mad, and it makes people mad, which makes me laugh. So, Raiders at 13. I mean, what do you even do? You got no quarterback. I don't know why running back is a need. I mean, Josh Jacobs is a free agent, but they'll probably retain him. And he does want a lot of money, to be fair, to pay for all 9 of his kids with like 7 different women. Yeah, that's true. Look it up. You probably go tackle. And if Talisa Fuaga is on the board at 13, you jump at that opportunity. Mahler in the run game, Josh Jacobs is going to love that. Pass pro, solid. He's very strong, good build. I love Talisa Fuaga. Saints at 13. Is this the Brock Bowers spot? I mean, they love their white, versatile guys. I'm looking at you, Taysom Hill. Not going to take a quarterback. Maybe take a tackle. Ryan Ramczyk I've heard that he's not doing so good in the knee areas. Both of them. I need to make like my own little like team needs chart, because I like to make my own stuff because I don't like rankings from a lot of different websites. Like tackle and D-line. Like, I don't think D-line is huge. They keep missing on defensive ends, though. Like, they got Carl Granderson, who's solid. But, I mean, Isaiah Foskey, it's pretty early. Peyton Turner, a while ago. Marcus Davenport, even longer ago. They just keep missing. And with Dallas Turner on the board, I think you finally get your guy that you can develop and turn into a solid player. If he puts on weight, he'll be great. I'm not a huge Dallas Turner fan, but this is a mixture of what I think will happen. I do think he will go higher than I think he should, but very high upside. And, he went to Alabama. He's going to be great. Well, I don't think so, but that's just me. And then again, I got Chop Robinson at 15 on my big board. So what do I know? Colts at 15. You're probably not going to take Brock Bowers. We got the 2 white dudes on top right here. They're just falling. The fact that J.J. McCarthy goes before Brock Bowers in this mock draft is astonishing. And I don't know how it happened, but here we are. So what do? Protect Anthony Richardson. I'm looking at my big board. You probably don't go Brock Bowers. You could go receiver, maybe edge rusher, corner. I think you take the best player available, which, I'm going to go Brock Bowers here. You got, what's his name? He's like 6'7", out of Virginia Tech. Jelani Woods. Not Virginia Tech, just Virginia. Jelani Woods, who's solid, and he's very big. He had like a great game against the Chiefs 2 years ago. I remember that because every rookie seems to do phenomenal against us, which doesn't make any sense, but And he had like 2 touchdowns in like the first half. But he's a very, very great player, Brock Bowers is, and I'm now Yoda. Can play in the slot, can block, great hands, just a great player, Brock Bowers. Seahawks at 16. Here, let me delete Brock Bowers off of my big board. Seahawks at 16. Quarterback's not in the play here. Maybe you take Bo Nix, but probably not. Do you go tackle? You could. You definitely could. You got Charles Cross, who you're still trying to develop. You got, what's that dude? He was from like Washington or Washington State. A later round pick. I forget his name. It's slipping me right now. But you got him, so you're probably not going to take a tackle, but maybe a guy you could move inside, like Graham Barton or Troy Fautanu. So one of those guys you can move to guard. They got guard and center as their needs. You could go edge rusher. You got Chop Robinson on the board. You got a fun pick would be Darius Robinson, who's been a high riser at the Senior Bowl this week, but probably won't go at 16. Yeah, I think it's going to be a tackle moving into guard, and that's a choice between Troy Fautanu and Graham Barton. I've seen Troy Fautanu a lot recently to the Seahawks, so I'm going to shake it up. I'm going to go Graham Barton. Very strong guy. Shorter arms will probably end up moving into guard based on certain teams, because like a lot of teams, they have requirements, like if they're not a certain like speed at tackle, like requirements for tackle, if their arms aren't a certain length, if they're not fast enough, if their feet aren't quick enough, like they will move to guard. And I think Graham Barton's arms just don't allow him to stay at tackle, and it could happen, but if the Seahawks take him, then probably not, because their tackles are pretty solidified. Jaguars at 17. I would love. Why is Keon Coleman so low? He was injured towards the end of the year, and I did a video, and he is jump ball Jesus. That is what I am saying. Keon Coleman is. I love Keon Coleman. I have about 14 on my big board actually. I forgot to remove Dallas Turner off of it. Jaguars, what do you do? Protect Trevor Lawrence? Yes, please, for the love of everything that is holy. I do like Tyler Guyton a lot as an Oklahoma fan, and he's crazy athletic. But J.C. Latham could be. He seems like a Jaguars pick, so I'm going to go that route. Yeah, he's solid, very strong. His feet are not fast at all. He's very slow, but he's a driver, mover in the run game. I mean, he's very strong. I guess I haven't watched too much film on him. I've seen, I think, a game or two, and I think he's all right. But a lot of scouts and analysts that I have a very high opinion of seem to like J.C. Latham, so I trust them a lot more than I'd trust myself, like a Daniel Jeremiah and those kind of guys. I mean, there's a few analysts that I think are just not intelligent, like functioning off of pure consensus boards and a half a brain cell. But I trust Daniel Jeremiah with my whole heart. Bengals at 18, you got to go tackle as well, probably. They list tight end, but the Bengals don't really use a tight end that much. And I think tackle, you got to go Tyler Guyton. Get another Oklahoma tackle on the other side of Orlando Brown Jr., which is a fun storyline. Where's he at on my big board? There he is, Tyler Guyton. Remove him. So yeah, protect Joe Burrow. Keep that offense flying. If you lose T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd, you could look receiver, but probably not. Rams. Fun. Could this be a Bo Nix spot? I mean, they love their old quarterbacks. Ask Stetson Bennett. But if you're the Rams, O-line's probably in play, or best defensive player available. And, this is going to be fun. This is where I'm sending Kenyon Mitchell. Crazy high riser, especially after the Senior Bowl. He has been locking people down. Got crazy good speed, and he went to Toledo, like he's not that good. Well, he is a very good player. Locking down, great in man coverage, great in zone coverage. He will go in the top 25, for sure. He's just one of those players that we see every year that went to a smallish college that is just crazy good, and they take him. Steelers at 20. I cannot believe they were a playoff team. I don't know how. And if you're the Steelers, I mean, get Arthur Smith a weapon. Get him Jared Wiley. Get that for Arthur Smith in the first round. But you could go interior. Is this a Jackson Powers Johnson spot? Maybe. You could look to solidify your other tackle position in Amarius Mims or Jordan Morgan. I think we're going to go Mims because the storyline of Georgia with Georgia is fun. And people don't realize that the Steelers they're kind of like a mini Eagles with their fan fiction of Georgia players. I mean, they only got like two, no, three. Yeah, three. They got George Pickens, Georgia. They got Broderick Jones, Georgia. Darnell Washington, Georgia. And I think that's it. But, I mean, that's still three Georgia players in the last 2 years. And if you take Amarius Mims, that's four. I mean, it's nothing on the Eagles, but it's still a lot of Georgia players. Dolphins at 21. And could the Steelers go quarterback? Probably not. They probably give Kenny Pickett one more year. Dolphins, tight end, but they don't use tight end. They're not taking a tight end. So I think O-line is for sure the pick here. And get somebody on the other side of Teron Armstead. I'm going to go Troy Fautanu based on his versatility. They can kick him to right tackle or they can kick him in guard. He will go pretty high. Well, I don't know. I can't say what. We're kind of going to run on tackles here. I can't say whether or not he'll go too high or not because, one, I haven't watched too much of him, and two, there's a lot of good tackles and good offensive players in this draft, so it's hard to project with him. Eagles at 22. Oh, I got to catch up on my big board. It's fine. It's whatever. Eagles at 22. Who's the best Georgia player on the board? Ladd McConkey. I mean, wide receiver is apparently in need. Could this be the first linebacker spot? Could we see a, what's his name? Where's that linebacker on my big board? Shoot. Not a Peyton Wilson. Edgerrin Cooper out of Texas A&M. Could this be a spot for him? I mean, there's always a surprise linebacker in the first round, but probably not. I think the best situation for the Eagles here would be Cooper DeJean, a guy that can cover on the outside, can cover in the slot, can play safety. He just does anything you ask. If you ask him to do it in the secondary, he can do it. Very athletic, real hard worker, sneaky athleticism, first guy in, last guy out mentality. He's white, in case you didn't know. So, I don't know if that's something scouts look at. I hope not, but you never know. But very athletic. He can do whatever you want him to do. Texans at 23. Ooh, this would be fun. Brian Thomas. That would be a lot of fun to pair with C.J. Stroud. Yeah, I think that's going to be the pick here. Pair Brian Thomas with Tank Dell, Nico Collins, and just that offense. Dalton Schultz, Damian Pierce, Devin Singletary. I don't know which one of those running backs will be their RB1 going forward. But Brian Thomas, fast. He'll probably go a lot higher than 23. But based on this mock draft I'm doing, I don't have him going any higher than that, obviously. But it'd be a very fun fit. Just keep that offense. Just keep loading up. Cowboys. How about them Cowboys? Pick 24. Running back? Probably not. Oh, I would not be surprised in the slightest if they took Blake Corum. Oh, that'd be so funny. A really underlooked at team need for them is receiver. I mean, yeah, CeeDee Lamb, but Brandon Cooks is about as old as time. And who else do they have? And Keon Coleman would be a great compliment to CeeDee Lamb there. But could you look at the interior defensive line with Byron Murphy? I almost said Hookem because I was going to say it ironically, but I decided not to because it just hurts to say. Because, Oklahoma was like the first and only team to beat them until Washington did. And then Texas went on to win the Big 12, so that made me upset. But, yeah, I'm an Oklahoma fan. I think I'm going to go Byron Murphy. I think that'd be a fun fit for the Cowboys based on, they love their Texas guys. And he keeping them local in the Lone Star State. And it's very hard to find some not edge rushers, interior defensive linemen that can rush the passer. So Byron Murphy would be there's a lot of Byrons, especially in like the defensive line, like Byron Murphy, Byron Young, another Byron Young, and there's just a lot of them. I think there's another Byron. I can't remember if there is. I thought there was another Byron in this draft class. on the defensive line. Maybe I was thinking of Braylon, but I'm pretty sure there's another Byron. Maybe I'm going crazy. Also, are these guys brothers? I was doing my big board, and I noticed that Gabriel and Grayson Murphy, and they look a lot alike. So I'm pretty sure they're probably brothers. I don't know. Maybe they're twins, but that'd be super cool if they both went to the same team, both playing at UCLA. That I assume they went to the same high school. That'd be sick. Packers at 25. Why is running back number 1 needed? It's got to be tackle. And I think Jordan Morgan is very much a Packer. He just screams Packer based on, I mean, just look at the name. It just looks Packer. It looks right next to the Packer logo. And I'll be honest, I have not watched any Jordan Morgan. But like I said before, a lot of analysts that I have a high opinion of rank him high, so I trust that. Bucks at 26. Look at all them needs, but they won a playoff game, baby. I hate the Bucks as a Chiefs fan because they beat us in the Super Bowl with Tom Brady, but now I love them as an Oklahoma fan because they got Daddy Baker Mayfield. So, kind of a Bucks fan now. Jerson Newton, it just screams Buccaneers based on Kalijah Kancey last year, but I was not a Kalijah Kancey fan. I was not a fan of him. I thought he sucked. And he's just been all right so far. Look at all these Oregon guys. But you're not going to take a running back. You're probably not going to take a tight end. Now, Ryan Jensen did just retire, I think like today or yesterday as I record this. So I think Jackson Powers Johnson would be a good replacement for him. That's crazy that the Bucks are picking at 26 with Baker Mayfield. But Jackson Powers Johnson, did amazing at the Senior Bowl and really solidified himself as not just center one, but I think interior lineman one. I mean, yeah, you got Troy Fautanu and Grant Barton, who will move to guard, but they're listed at tackles. So, as of right now, JPJ is IOL 1, which I don't know why they can't just do guard or center. They're just lazy and throw them together. Cardinals. Let's see. I still have a lot of good players on the board. Hold up. Let me adjust this. Delete that. Just bear with me. I am currently removing players off my big board so that way I can see who we got left available and who I have kind of falling a bit. Because there are a lot of players that are very good that will not go in the first round just because there's 40 good ones that could go in the first round, but only 32 can. So Cardinals here, we gave them Marvin Harrison Jr. earlier, obviously. And you might not go O-line just because you did last year and you have so many other needs. And do you go corner? I mean, you still got Kool-Aid McKinstry on the board. You got Rakestraw, who's all right. Nate Wiggins. I think the pick's Nate Wiggins. If he falls to you at 26, you got to take him up on that. Very high upside. Long arms, athletic, and a good complement to nobody. I guess they don't really have a solidified CB1. I mean, they got Budda Baker and they got Garrett Williams, who could be something. But I think keep developing that defense in the secondary, and you could be a very good team in the coming future with a lot of draft picks. Bills at 28. It's got to be a receiver with potentially losing Stephon Diggs and not much outside of him. Do you go Troy Franklin? Do you go Keon Coleman, A.D. Mitchell? Do you reach down a little bit for an Xavier Worthy? My top receiver on the board is Keon Coleman, obviously. Maybe a speedster in Troy Franklin. But I think you're going to go Keon Coleman here if you're the Bills. And that would hurt me a lot as a Chiefs fan to see the Bills get a Keon Coleman player. But Jump Ball Jesus, that is my nickname. I'm calling it now. If he gets that nickname anywhere else, I'm going to be upset. But he's just crazy jump ball ability. Great speed, great build. Very attractive if you look at his face. That is not him. I'm surprised that Florida State has not been canceled. I mean, the Washington football team, before they were the football team, the Cleveland Indians, they were all canceled, but Florida State, okay. I mean, I personally don't care. I'm not a Native American, but I don't. I just think it's funny that the Cleveland Indians and Washington, our name were canceled, and Florida State nobody talked about. Maybe they did. I don't know. I don't like to pay attention to that stuff because it's not as fun as football. Lions. Oh boy. What do you do if you're the Lions? I think maybe boost your defense. Maybe boost your second. I think it's got to be secondary, not safety. Although Sion Vakai did also look very good at the Senior Bowl. Click X. Okay. Corner. Is this McKinstry or Rakestraw? I saw a stat where if they get Kool-Aid McKinstry, this would be the third year in a row where they take an Alabama player who wore number 1, with Jameson Williams in 22, Jahmyr Gibbs in 23, and potentially Kool-Aid McKinstry in 24. But for the Lions, I think more of a fit. I don't think Kool-Aid McKinstry is a very good fit for the Lions. I think Rakestraw fits a lot of what Dan Campbell is building with aggressive, physical defense, and that's what Ennis Rakestraw is a physical, aggressive corner who can get a little grabby, just a little bit, not a lot, but a very physical corner who can shut down in man and zone coverage. Just a very solid player with high upside, and I'm also kind of a Mizzou fan since I'm from Missouri, so that's cool to see a Mizzou player get all the hype. Ravens at 30. I mean, what a game they played against the Chiefs. Man, Lamar Jackson, save us. Lamar, save us. Yeah, you didn't save shit, Lamar. Get out of here. Go home. Go to Cancun. But if you're the Ravens, do you go Kool-Aid McKinstry? He's on the board. Do you go receiver? Troy Franklin, potentially. Do you go edge rusher? Maybe. You're probably not going to lose Madubuike. If he doesn't agree to a long-term deal, you more than likely franchise tag him. I mean, there's a lot of ways you could go here if you're the Ravens. And you could see a team trade up with the Ravens to potentially get a Bo Nix or maybe Michael Penix. I'm not a fan of his. But if I were the Ravens here, receiver is the flashy pick, but I think I'm going to go Kool-Aid. They love their Alabama corners. I mean, Marlon Humphrey. Who was that other dude they took like a year or two ago out of Alabama? It was like, I got to find out. I can't remember. Ravens depth chart. Because he'll still be on roster. I can't remember. And it's going to kill me. Jalen Armour Davis. I knew it was like a dashed last name. Yeah. He did play at Alabama, right? It's going to be really embarrassing if he just didn't play at Alabama. Okay, yeah. So, yeah, they love their Alabama corners. And Kool-Aid McKinstry, a long sounds weird. He's 6'1", but he just seems a little bit taller than that. Athletic as all hell. Got a cool name, so that's cool. Aiden. I'm sorry. I'll see myself out. Chiefs here. Bo Nix. No. As a Chiefs fan, what do I want? Receiver is the obvious pick. Troy Franklin, speed demon. Ladd McConkey, white demon. Tez Walker, who's kind of not been good at the Senior Bowl. A.D. Mitchell. So many receivers to pick from, but unfortunately, I'm not going to be picking any. I'm going to be picking my boy, Patrick Paul. Patrick protecting Patrick. The PP duo. No, there can be a better name for that. But, I mean, yes, receiver is in need. But, look at the tackles. It is a fall-off after Kingsley Suamataia and Kyron Amagadaji. I always forget how to pronounce his last name. And I think it's Kieron instead of Kyron. But it is a fall-off. Not, I mean, maybe in the later rounds, like 4 through 7, you take more tackles or tackle. But receiver, it's just depth on depth on depth. You can get another one in the second round. Like, at the end of the second round, who could be available? Jermaine Burton, maybe one of the Texas receivers drop. Xavier Legette, Jalen Polk, Ricky Pearsall, Brendan Rice, Jalen McMillan, Roman Wilson, Johnny Wilson. All of these guys from like Malachi Corley up could be, well, probably not these two, But these guys could all be available at the end of the second round. And one of them, at least two of them, more than likely will. So if you're the Chiefs, your tackles are ass. They're just ass. They're either holding, doing a false start, or just letting up a sack. And as a Chiefs fan, that is more, to me, that is more aggravating than a dropped pass. And you got to protect Mahomes. Patrick protect Patrick. PP duo. I'm sold. 49ers for the final pick. Got to be O-line. Yeah, you got Trent Williams, who's old, expensive, and he's the only good player they have on that O-line. And I cannot believe I have Chop Robinson falling out of the first round here. That's something else. I never thought I'd see the day where I let myself do that. But we'll just do this where you can see them both. Zach Frazier potentially could be. Oh, they actually have listed for IOL. That they actually have listed guard or center. Okay, I take it back. I called them lazy earlier, and I take it back. I apologize. Because usually they just have, in the past, they've just had IOL. I think it's Kingsley Suamataia. Could move inside, outside. Oh, maybe. What's his size? 6'6", 315. Maybe move to guard, but you probably play him at right tackle. Develop him right tackle for a year. And if Trent Williams retires next year, or maybe even this year, you move him to the left side. So I think that pick fits the bill. So we'll let it do its thing. And it says it's grading my draft, but it really doesn't. Yeah, subscribe to PFF Plus to get it graded. Well, then why'd you load it? Yeah, the logos look weird because I have like an extension on my Chrome browser where it makes it in dark. So that's why it's not all white, because it just blinds me. Because my monitor's so big that it just blinds me and makes me go blind, which is what blinding me would do. But so the logos look really weird. They didn't look like this a minute ago. But like the Chiefs logo looks weird. The Niners look weird. Really the only normal looking one is like the Commanders. Although that Jaguars one kind of looks like their old Jaguars logo, which looks cool. But yeah, this is my final mock draft. Some players I have falling out of the first round are Chop Robinson, Bo Nix, I think Troy Franklin. Yeah, Troy Franklin. Jerzon Newton, Ladd McConkey, Chris Braswell, Darius Robinson, who very well could be a first-round pick, Michael Penix, A.D. Mitchell, and that's just to name a few. So, yeah, that's going to do it for the video. I will have the Rome Odunze video out next. That's what it will be. It will not be a mock draft. I will go back to the film breakdowns, I promise. I'm trying to get the stupid copyright thing figured out so all my videos don't get, like, limited viewership. But thank you guys so much for watching. Show me some support. I would appreciate it so much. And, yeah, I will see you guys in the next video.